Welcome to the Alpine Church of Spiritual Living. This is Beauregard, and I'm going to be sharing with you the thought for the week, and those in the room can join me as we get down to the bottom. Life is ever progressing forward and upward. It is eternally unfolding from the perfect pattern within itself. This life encompasses everything from the most minute physical form to the grandest of mountains and beyond to the cosmos. There is one life expressing itself through and as all, including every soul on this earth plane and beyond. This life is eternal. This life is unrestricted and unlimited. If this is true, then why do I feel restricted, limited, closed, and small? My feelings are there as my guide. My feelings are worthy of recognition. My feelings churn up for me the debris, mud, and gunk that has been deposited in my psyche over perhaps a lifetime and beyond. And so I welcome my feelings. I invite them to come forth to be experienced so that they can be gently released. It is important, however, as I go through this process to not wallow in them, but to be in gratitude for their release, so that I will become lighter and lighter. Charles Fillmore, the great Unity co-founder, wrote on his 93rd birthday, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and energy and enthusiasm, eager to do that which ought to be done by me today." Charles Fillmore dwelt in the silence of the divine daily. He was a great example and instrument of the divine. We too can be an instrument of the unique divinity within us by shedding old feelings and concepts that weigh us down. Now is the time to spring forth and be willing to fly high into the glory that awaits our recognition. It's time to wake up from our sleep and go on the adventure of life. You ask, where is that and what does it look like? And the depth of our soul replies, if you knew what it looked like and what it was, it wouldn't be an adventure. Listen to the inner divine voice prompting release from the past so that your wings are free to rise to new heights of awareness. Say with me, I recognize and release feelings that weigh me down and spring forth with zeal and enthusiasm. It is with great gratitude that I am free to wake and experience the grand adventure of this, my divine life, and it is so. So isn't this a wonderful day? Beautiful, beautiful spring day, and we get to get some more rain in the next couple days. That's lovely. I believe that this life is just beautiful, warts and all. Everything that goes with it has a sense of beauty. Our topic this morning is flying high, and that does not mean on drugs. That means that we are flying high, untethered, unlimited, into this arena of life that is endless, that is eternal, that is waiting for us to do what we will with it. I love the saying that says, angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. And I believe that all of us are angels, whether we recognize it or not, because that angelic quality is the divinity within each and every one of us. And so many times, though, as we're on this earth plane, we get caught up in our humanness more than in our angelness. We, last month, I think I shared with you that one of our high school classmates passed on, and we had his life celebration yesterday. And I'll tell you what, Ray Martin Hayes was an example to me of an angel. Everyone who spoke gave this same type of information, remembering who and what Ray was and what he did. He was a fellow that, to me, was the angel on earth, and actually knew it, but not with a I think probably not consciously at all, he would give and give and give and give. If anything needed to be done, he would jump out and do it. If anything needed to be helped in any way, he would find a way to do it. And yet, he was very humble, very knowledgeable, very curious, unassuming, but kind, absolutely kind and giving. He attended the Unity Church in El Cajon, so he has the same sort of spiritual background that we teach here in ours. And one of the things that I think that set him apart from being such a wonderful example of our teachings is that he lived in the moment. And we talk about that all the time. We talk about living in the moment, about letting go of the past, of being present to the now. And this fellow actually lived it, actually was able to be with whoever he was with, giving his full attention and giving of himself to it. He wasn't afraid to move on in life. He had this condition that he knew was terminal when he was diagnosed a couple years ago. And he would tell his family, "This is my journey." In fact, I brought his little program with me to share with you. I don't know if anybody remember. This is Ray and Connie Hayes. I don't know if you remember. Connie they've been, well, you would never met. He was in high school with us. But I wanted to read a portion of what they had in the program. And after Ray passed, Dr. Tanaka sent us a note. In it, she said that what an honor it was that all the doctors and nurses felt being able to care for him, and that whenever someone expressed sorrow of the situation, Ray would say, "Don't cry or be sad for me. This is my journey, my path. My only regret is the pain my family and friends are feeling." This is the kind of man he was. And so he had a fabulous celebration of life. One of the things that I wanted to reiterate when I did the thought for the week is, now is the time to spring forth and be willing to fly high into the glory that awaits our recognition. It's time to wake up from our sleep and go on the adventure of your life. You ask, where is that and what does it look like? And from the depths of our soul, we hear, if you know what it looked like and what it was, it wouldn't be an adventure. That's what our life is an adventure of unknowing the details, of unknowing what the specifics are. But just like one of the friends that shared when he got stuck in Mexico in a situation without a vehicle, he remembered to call Ray, and Ray was able to go down and pick him up within a couple hours. We are on this life path really with an unknown destination. The destination isn't important. It's what Ray Martin said. It's the journey. It's the path. It's the step, one day at a time, that we are taking. I think in order to be comfortable with this adventure in life, that it takes confidence. It takes a knowing within that there is something within me that I can draw upon that is greater than anything on this outer earthly plane. It takes living in the now, not being concerned with what I should have, could have done in the past. It takes knowing that as I proceed from this moment, listening to my higher self, to my God self, that it leads me in just the right way that I need to go through this day. As I was reading the Daily Word, which I read every morning, I wanted to share with you the one for today. And the topic is divine order. Divine order supports my life. Divine order is one of the great truths of life. It provides a foundation for all growth and a blueprint for all manifestations. Feeling stuck or bewildered is a sign that I am out of step with divine order. I pause, and with compassion for myself, I release thoughts of worry, impatience, and doubt. I remind myself of times when I wondered whether a hoped-for result would ever happen, only to realize in hindsight that fundamental aspects had to be in place first. Remembering this helps me be patient and trusting now. I affirm I cooperate with divine order. It is established in my life now. I listen with mind and heart, trusting that I will discern my path one step at a time. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own insight. Trust that this path that we are on isn't necessarily one that we can see the next step and beyond. But know that as we cooperate and we ask for assistance, that it will be given to us. One of the qualities that was brought up yesterday about Ray was that he had a keen sense of curiosity, curious about life, of what was going on around him. He would know, and if he didn't know, he'd find out. He'd check it out. He'd look up at it and find out what it would be. I think our human nature keeps us stuck to the ground, and when we allow ourselves to go inward to that internal, unlimited self, then we are able to spread our wings. Then we are able to lift ourselves off of this earth plane, just perhaps if nothing else metaphorically, to raise ourselves up from the mud and the drudge that can keep us weighted down in this life. I want you to remember and know it with the depths of your being that there is so much more to you than what you see in the mirror. There is so much more to you that is eternal, that is invisible, that is powerful. I have some great news, and it hasn't quite arrived yet in this room, but it will be, and that is that I received the shipment of Eileen Cady's books, Opening Doors Within. There's one here for each of you, and they're just over in the office. We'll bring them over here. This is these are part of the purchases that we've made with the $1,000 tithe, giving back to ourselves, our congregation, from Wes Barrett's will, the bequeathment that he left us of $10,000. So we've already gotten our letting go books, and we've started our class with that. This is a daily personal read for everyone in church, and I'm going to share with you today's, because again, it just seems to be smack dab right on. Peace be unto you. To be at one with me is to be at peace. Again, remember, this is words of God speaking. For peace starts deep within the soul, and then reflects itself outward. Then when you have found inner peace and stability, you can go anywhere and withstand anything. You can even walk in the valley of the shadow of death and fear nothing, for with that inner peace comes serenity and tranquility, which nothing and no one can disturb or destroy. As you recognize and accept your true relationship with me, and do it as simply as a child, without any complications, so will your whole life be filled with joy and thanksgiving. Then no fear can enter, and you will appear to live a charmed life and be fully protected, For where there is no fear, there is full protection. It is fear that opens the door to danger and leaves you vulnerable. Therefore, banish fear. Let my peace and love infill and enfold you, and give eternal thanks. To me, that just sums it all up. Don't we all want to have that internal peace, that presence, that acknowledgement that I am safe, I am whole, I am free, I am unlimited? At the service yesterday, they read the 23rd Psalm. The Lord, and if you would like to join me in saying this, I'm sure that most of you know it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Part of me says I want to apologize for getting emotional. But part of me doesn't want to apologize because that's what comes up for me. It's easy for me to bubble forth with waterworks at times. I guess because it's such a deep feeling. Nothing to do with sadness, just an awness of life. And I was having dinner with a friend on Friday night, and we were talking about this life, this incarnation that we have, this one life that we live at this time. And she said, when we have my life service, I want the song My Way sung. At Ray's service, we had the musical genius of Jody Bagley there. Jody Bagley has been the musical director at Unity Church of El Cajon for 15 years. He came there when he was 21 years old. And Ray and Connie took him under their wing because he was the same age as their son. And so Jody yesterday sang Hallelujah. He sang You'll Never Walk Alone. And then as we all exited the room, we did it too. Crocodile Rock. This life is an amazing journey, one that gives us twists and turns, that we don't know what's ahead of us. But it honestly doesn't really matter when we know that what we are carrying with us through it all is this solidity of divinity, of this wholeness of being, of knowing that there is a father, a giver of life, a mother, a birther of life, that releases the tension when we go within and find it. It releases the consternation and the doubt and the worry and the fear when we go in and commune with it and allow and let it guide and lead us through every path, through every journey of life. Remember that this life starts from inside out. What we give, we have to have first. We have to be nourished from within in order to release it and let it go and let it spill out and let it be shared with all of those around us. Because all of those around us are what we are. We are one. When we love ourselves, when we honor ourselves, when we value ourselves, we will value every single other person. We won't see any difference. We will be that child of innocence that accepts life for what it is. Accept the fact that you are a light being. Therefore, let your light so shine. Don't hide it under a bushel, a barrel. Let your light shine just as you are, knowing that you will be experiencing this infinite, unlimited life in your own perfect way. And just let it be. Fly high. Be joyous. Be free. Be untethered. And have a fabulous day. Namaste.